Emily had always been curious about her grandmother's mansion. It loomed on the hill, a gothic silhouette against the stormy sky. Her grandmother had been a recluse, estranged from the family. When she died, Emily was surprised to find herself the sole inheritor. The lawyer's words echoed in her ears. "Your grandmother left everything to you, Emily. The house, the grounds, all her possessions." But Emily felt a shiver of unease. There were whispers about the old mansion, tales of a curse that clung to the family. The iron gates creaked open as if in warning. As Emily stepped inside, she felt a weight settle on her chest. Days turned into weeks as Emily tried to acclimate to her new surroundings. One afternoon, while exploring the attic, she stumbled upon a locked door. It was concealed at the back of a dark alcove, almost invisible in the dim light. Curiosity piqued. She searched for the key. She found it hidden in a dusty book, a tarnished silver key that felt cold to the touch. The lock clicked open with a heavy thunk. Inside, the room was shrouded in shadows. Dust motes danced in the single ray of sunlight that pierced through a crack in the boarded-up window. The portrait was of a woman who could only be Emily's ancestor. As Emily reached out to touch it, she noticed a scattering of letters on the desk, their ink faded but still legible. The letters were a chronicle of despair. Written by the woman in the portrait, Emily's great-great-grandmother, they told a tale of desperation and a pact made with a dark entity. Elizabeth had been deeply in love with a man who was taken from her too soon. Grief-stricken, she sought a way to bring him back, to cheat death itself. She found her answer in ancient texts, forbidden knowledge that spoke of a being of immense power, a creature called the Devourer. Elizabeth made a deal, her soul, and the souls of her descendants in exchange for her lover's return. But instead of bringing her love back, the ritual had twisted him into something monstrous. Elizabeth had trapped it within the mansion, binding it with her life force. Emily's blood ran cold as she read the last of the letters. She had to escape, had to break free from the curse that had haunted her family for generations. The mansion seemed to close in around Emily, its shadows growing longer, its silence more oppressive. She heard whispers in the dead of night, her name echoing from the empty hallways. Cold spots followed her as she moved through the house, a chill that seeped into her bones. Doors slammed shut on their own, their locks rattling with unseen force. She caught glimpses of shadows flitting at the edge of her vision, too quick to be real, yet too substantial to be dismissed. One night she awoke to a cold hand on her ankle. She sat up with a gasp, her heart pounding in her chest. The room was dark, but she could sense something in the shadows, a presence that was both hungry and malevolent. She fumbled for the light switch, and the room flooded with the harsh glare of the overhead bulb. But the feeling of dread remained, clinging to her like a shroud. Panic seized Emily. She had to get out, escape the clutches of the cursed mansion. She ran to the front door, but it wouldn't budge. It was as if an unseen hand held it fast, sealing her fate. She raced from room to room, testing windows, searching for another way out. But every exit was barred, every door and window sealed shut as if by an unseen force. The mansion was a labyrinth, its corridors twisting and turning, leading her in circles. She could feel the Devourer's presence growing stronger, its cold breath on her neck. Exhausted, she sank to her knees in the center of the grand foyer. Emily had been a fool to think she could escape the curse. The shadows swallowed Emily whole. The Devourer, no longer content with whispers and cold spots, manifested in its true form. A creature of pure darkness, it fed on her terror, her life force draining away until nothing remained but a hollow shell. The mansion stood silent once more, its hunger temporarily satiated. But the curse lived on, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to claim its inheritance. Years would pass, and the cycle would repeat. The Devourer would lie dormant, biding its time until the next heir walked through the mansion's doors. Drawn by curiosity, by the allure of the inheritance, they would unwittingly seal their fate. For the curse of the Devourer was a legacy passed down through generations, a debt that could only be paid in blood. And so, the mansion on the hill remained, a silent sentinel overlooking the town below.